Hey guys, it's been a while. I was sick for a long time, and as you can see, my voice is still going. If you watched the previous video, I said that this video was gonna be about the Nothing phone, and the Nothing phone died, so I have to buy it again. So please wait for that video to come out. But in the meanwhile, while we were waiting, Apple announced new iPads. There's 4 of them. Let's talk about it. And by the end of the video, I will tell you which one is the one that I picked. So Apple recently announced 4 new iPads. You got the iPad Air in 11 and 13, and also the iPad Pro in 11 and 13. Let's talk about the new Air, and that's the new 13-inch. Before this, you were kind of forced to get a 13-inch Pro. So this is a great option for people that didn't really care about all the Pro technologies and just wanted a big iPad, but still good enough for everyday use. So just like the iPhone lineup with the Plus series, they announced a Plus iPad. If you look at it, it's exactly the same lineup. You got the normal iPhones with the Plus, and you got the Pro series with the Max. And that's exactly what's happening with the new iPads. Let's talk about the design and the build quality. Look, they cannot do much. It's still that squarish design with the iPad design that you know. There's no new glass black or anything like that. But what they did with the 13-inch Pro is that they made it the thinnest Apple product ever. No one asked, but they still did it. And better battery life would have been more appreciated, but I guess thin equals better. Yeah, and this is the part that confuses me, right? So you got the iPad Airs that supposedly used to be the thin and the really lightweighted iPads, but now the 13-inch Pro is thinner and lighter than the Air, which makes it the new iPad Air Pro. Are you confused? Because I'm confused. The new iPad Pro comes in 5.1 millimeters compared to the iPad Air that comes in 6.1 millimeters. So exactly 1 millimeter difference. And also the weight is around 30 grams lighter, which is insane because what is going on? Why is the Pro lighter than the Air? Air's supposed to be the thinner and the lighter one. My 13-inch Pro used to kind of annoy me when I was holding it in one hand, and this one kind of feels nice. You still feel the weight after a while, but it feels so thin that you feel like you're gonna break it any second. And according to my bestie Jerry, it's still really durable, so don't worry about it, but still, put a case, Apple Care, just protect it, you know? When it comes to the Pro series, you got 4 speakers, which gives you that surround sound audio. It tries it, it's not the best like a sound system, but it still gives you that spatial audio from a tablet, which is great. Also, when it comes to the iPad Air series, you got dual speakers. You got the Touch ID on the iPad Air and Face ID on the iPad Pro. I personally don't like the Touch ID at all because it really depends how you're holding the iPad, and sometimes you're holding it in a weird way and you have to find it, press it. It's not the most convenient thing. While the Face ID, no matter what orientation the iPad is, just swipe up, you want to pay, double tap, done. It's great. I personally would choose the Face ID over the Touch ID all the time. Especially if the iPad is bigger, it's more difficult to get to it. What also is different with these iPads is that they put the front-facing camera in the middle, which is great, because usually I was on a FaceTime call and I was looking at this display and the camera is there, so I was looking at a different place like this. I was like, yeah, how you been today? But now you would directly look at the person and acknowledge them. The cameras are still 12 megapixels, so nothing has changed. I mean, you don't need anything more than that. It's just great for Zoom calls and FaceTime. Both of the iPads have a 12 megapixel camera which has center stage, which means that while you're doing your weird dance moves, it will follow you. I don't know why you would dance like this, but it will follow you. On the back of these iPads, you got a 12 megapixel camera on both of them. They're all capable of shooting 4K, but the Pro doesn't have the ultra wide anymore, and it's been replaced by the LiDAR, which is sneaky. And I wonder why Apple did this. Did no one use the ultra wide, or is something going on and we still don't know about it, and they're gonna reveal it in the future? But yeah, that's something to know. And apparently there's a new flash when you want to take scan a document. It's going to be better than before. In my experience, it didn't make any difference. Documents still looked crap. Maybe it's a software update, but yeah. All four of these iPads also have USB-C. One of them has the normal USB-C and one of them has the Thunderbolt 4, which gives you faster data speeds, and also it's the better one to go for if you want to do any type of video editing or photo editing on the go. That basically sums up the design and the build quality. They're all aluminum. Nothing much has changed when it comes to their design besides the fact that there's a new 13-inch in the Air, and also there is a thinner, lighter Pro series, which is the new Air Pro. I'm still confused, man. I don't know. And now let's talk about the displays. After begging and praying to Apple gods for years and years and years for them to put an OLED display on an iPad, they finally did it. They finally got my money because of that. I need to calm down. I need to calm down. It's fine. It's fine. It's just tablet. So let's talk about the displays. Like I mentioned, 4 iPads, 11, 11, 13, 13. But there are a few factors that makes these displays really different. First up, let's talk about the new tandem OLED display on the Pro series. So up until now, the iPad 12.9 from previous generation was the only one that was using the mini LED display, and everything else was using LCD. What's wrong with LCD? Basically, if you're in a dark environment or you're watching something dark, you will see a lot of halo, blooming. The 11-inch series especially would always have that grayish blue, which I personally hate. And the 12.9 was amazing, but for example, you were playing a subtitle or something like that, you would see this halo and the light was following the object. So it wasn't true black, and it used to be okay, but not the best. And the brightness was meh, it was okay, not the best. You might ask, what is tandem OLED? So what Apple did is they got 2 OLED panels and they put them together. And because of that, you get an OLED display that is really bright. You might wonder why it took Apple so many years. Samsung people in the comments, please chill. I know you had it from 20 years ago, okay? You guys are the creators of OLED. Good job. So, OLED has downsides. The downside was that it wasn't bright, and over time there was something happen called burn-in. So, a static image that you would watch constantly might burn into your screen. But yeah, this is a big leap in the displays. And with this generation, Apple didn't force that technology on the 13-inch, and the 11 finally has it. I was always a fan of that 11-inch size, but I was forced to get the 13 because always the 13 had the better display. The second thing that separates these displays apart is the refresh rate. iPad Air uses a 60 Hz refresh rate panel, while the iPad Pro series, they both use a ProMotion technology, which is a 120 Hz refresh rate. For a normal user, most of the people that I know don't care about this, but I do care because I see the difference. And I have a feeling it's because every device that I have is running at 120 Hz, from my Samsung tablet to my Mac. Everything that I have is 120. So one of them, when it's 60, I will immediately pick up and be like, why are you laggy? Let's go back to the LCD and the OLED technology as well, because like I said, this OLED is brighter. But how much brighter, you might ask? While playing SDR content, the iPad Air would achieve maximum 600 brightness, while the iPad Pro achieves 1000 brightness. This is so much more than the previous Pro series, which was also around 500 to 600 brightness. This iPad Pro achieves around 1600 nits of peak brightness, which is great and amazing. If it actually could do that. And I said this because while I was recording this video, while I was about to take a massive number 2 on the Samsung display of my Galaxy S9, Samsung was brighter, and nothing makes sense. I do not understand what happened, because the Galaxy S9 that I have, it shouldn't be brighter. On paper, the maximum brightness is around 700 HDR, 500 SDR, and iPad should have won it, right? No matter what content I played, from Disney, from YouTube, from Netflix, no matter what I played, Samsung was brighter. I don't know. So a little bit disappointed that the numbers are not matching, and this is not Apple, unlike OnePlus. You guys are so pissed from the past video. I triggered a full-on fan base. Anyways, let's go back to this. So with the brightness part, a little bit disappointed, but overall the contrast is infinite. It's amazing. I love this display. Wish it was as good as the Samsung, and I'm kind of scared what the S10 series of these tablets will do compared to the iPad, but yeah. This is not a technology, but it's more of the build quality of the displays. When it comes to the anti-reflective, I saw that there was a slight difference between the Air and the Pro, and the Pro had more of that blue and the purplish anti-reflective coating, which means that it will have less reflections to it. Kind of caught my eye because no one has talked about it. Talking about anti-reflective, the iPad Pro only has a nano texture option, but the catch is that if you want that, you have to upgrade to the 1 TB version of it, which costs a lot, guys. This video has caused me a lot to test. Please subscribe. It hurts. It hurts. It hurts. But yeah, subscribe, please. So you might ask, is the nano texture any good? It's good. It's fun to use for a few minutes with the pen, especially because it doesn't glide like the normal screen does. But it kind of ruins the whole purpose of OLED. The blacks are not black. It has this gray coating to it, so doesn't make the content look really vibrant, or I don't know what to call it, like the contrast is not there. And also if the screen is white, you get this rainbow-ish dot feeling on the screen. So it's not for me, but I'm pretty sure all the people that want to draw or any professional work with the pen would like to have that, or you can just buy a $50 paper like. Yeah. Let's talk about the processors. The iPad Air series has an M2 processor from the previous generation of iPad Pros to this. And the iPad Pro has an M4 processor, which even the MacBooks don't have it yet. I don't understand. My guess is because they are not upgrading their iPads every year, so by the time the next one comes out, we're gonna be on an M6. So it kind of makes sense. But iPad OS, it's so weak, it cannot do anything. And while I'm recording this video, I waited until the WWDC is finished, then I record this video. And the reason was because I was like, maybe the iPad OS 18 will bring some Mac features and Mac power to it, because this tablet is so powerful. But no, they just added a calculator app. It's cool, but that's it. A powerful iPad that cannot run any proper professional apps, such as Adobe Premiere Pro. I mean, not that I think anyone wants to run Adobe Premiere Pro after what happened with their whole... But still, you know, if you need Adobe, this is running on the mobile version of it. DaVinci is okay. There's gonna be a new Final Cut Pro. I hate Final Cut on iPad. It's so weird. You cannot even apply LUTs to it. It's such a waste of power on such a great product, and the limitation is coming from iPad OS. I really want to replace my Mac with this, but I can't. It's because everything that I want, it's on a Mac and not an iPad. Like, I'm just frustrated. Can we just go to the next topic? So the last thing, let's talk about the accessories. Apple announced a new Apple Pencil Pro and a new Magic Keyboard. What's the difference between these new ones and the ones from before? Let's talk about the pencil. The new thing that this pencil gets is a barrel roll. So when you rotate the pencil, you exactly would see with the hover what the angle of the pencil is, which you couldn't do before. You got a new squeeze option, which brings up a new menu for the pencil. And it's so good and it's so fun to use because now you got haptic feedback inside of the pencil, and Apple makes these little things feel like magic. And it's exactly the same feeling from the AirPods Pro. And with this one, it's the same feeling. You press and it brings up the menu, you choose whatever you want. You want a pencil, you want like a eraser. You got Find mine with this for people that lose their pencils. You can still magnetically attach it to the top, but this pencil doesn't work with the previous generation of Apple iPads. And the reason, it's because of that new camera placement. So Apple had to figure out a new magnetic system with the new iPad Air M2 and the M4 Pro. So if you're getting this pencil, be careful. It doesn't work if your iPad is not one of the new ones. Now let's talk about the new keyboard. What's the difference with this? One of the biggest thing that has changed is the new material inside. So instead of that, I don't know if it was leather or plastic, but now it's aluminum, which is great. It feels solid. The 13-inch model, the size of the trackpad has got bigger. I wish they could have just made the enter key bigger on the 11-inch. If Logitech can, Apple could have as well. It's a great, solid keyboard, but I don't think they really tried this keyboard. And I figured it out because while I was watching movies on my bed, the iPad would constantly fall down. And I was like, what's going on? Like the previous generation, when I was like using the keyboard, it wouldn't constantly fall down. And I saw this on TikTok, YouTube. A lot of YouTubers are talking about it. So there was a little back cover, but this one, they have removed it. So every time you touch the iPad, if you put a little bit of enough force to it, your iPad can constantly fall down, which is kind of annoying. Like for you to pay around $500 to $600, I mean AUD, and like 300 USD for it to fall down constantly. So not a big fan of this when it comes to them to remove that part, but still a solid keyboard. Thank you for watching my videos and subscribing to the channel. I appreciate you. And if you like my content, please make sure you subscribe and you like this video, and let me know if you're gonna buy any of these iPads. While we're here, I'll tell you which one I personally got for myself. So I went with the 11-inch iPad Pro in the 512 gigabyte storage in silver, the Apple Pencil Pro. I personally requested this orange one. There's 4 or 5 boxes. I wanted this. I'm someone that keeps the boxes. And also I got the silver Magic Keyboard. And I think this iPad is beautiful. It's amazing. Will I change my mind? Maybe. But this is a great tablet. Who would I recommend these iPads to? If you're a uni student and you're on a budget, go for the iPad Air. If you are a movie lover, go with the Pro. You will love that display. And also, if you're someone that wants to do video editing, the M2 Air, it's still amazing, but that M4 is good to have because it's faster. It's gonna have amazing AI potential, I think, with Apple Intelligence when it comes out. I think that wraps it up. Until the next video, take care. Ka-chow. What's Lightning McQueen, Ferrari? So we're gonna have this thing that you stay until the end of the video watching, and I'm gonna do an awkward scene. I'm just like, You still here? Cool. Do you like cheese?